it is Monday. It's the 12th of February 2018. Hopefully you're having a good day. It's Monday, so everyone's got the Monday blues. But it is half term, I think, in the UK, and I obviously don't know over the globe. Like, are you off? Are you what's going on? Are you like on holiday? If you're having a holiday, have a great holiday, whatever you're doing. But obviously there are some stories I want to cover. Not anything amazingly new in the community, but there is stuff that we have to cover. There's some great kind of like conversational stuff with regards to the way that new synergies are coming into the game. Seaton put out a great video about it, and I'm going to cast my opinion alongside that video towards the end. But there are a few things that, yes, I don't think Kabam are really covering. Some stuff where I think we do need to revisit it based on the way that champions have been adjusted in the current and new champions coming in, that maybe old champions should be redeveloped back. I'm talking about Doctor Strange here. Anyway, let's just delve into the stories at large. Okay, so our first story is all about this post here. I've kind of covered this, I think, about 2 to 3 times before, but it is this kind of like dexterity, kind of like parrying, recovering, game mechanics type thing with regards to blocks and other stuff, which doesn't seem to be fixed in the eyes of the people that are posting here. I would suggest a lot of people that do continue to post it, please put your device. And at the same time, it is disappointing that the questions aren't really being answered with regards to the way the kind of that game is functioning. I do sympathize with a lot of people. There's somebody with an iPhone 7 Plus like myself, and I have experienced times where there's kind of like odd chaining into attacks, and it's a case in fact that if you're saying you're putting like light, medium, that it's the case that the medium will either miss or block with the enemy, depending on the way and how the AI is functioning. And that communication between the point of game to server is something I'm not sure if it's 100% being addressed. It will be interesting to find out whether or not the users of more modern devices, the iPhone 10 users, iPhone 8, I'm talking like Samsung's, I'm talking like the 7 Edge or whatever the kind of that more noticeable kind of like more modern tech is. Like, are you experiencing issues with that? Have you experienced issues like that in the past? Because it is disappointing that a lot of people, maybe with older devices as well as the devices or the people on the forum posts, aren't having maybe the internet's faster where you are. I think that's a lot of things we need to kind of like geographically kind of nail it down, and also a case that nail it to a device, like saying it's this. Maybe it could be like Wi-Fi speed. Who knows? But it is something that I think people need to communicate a bit more on and have those added elements to it. So we definitely know for the developer to look at your kind of problem and say, yes, okay, that is the issue. Let's build on this and get something rolled out that's better for you as a player. This then changes on to our second story, which is about losing control of champions. And I think, if I'm honest, both of these kind of posts should be merged together because they both reference like same problems. I think the biggest problem is, and as you can see from a lot of these comments, people are calling for another boycott. And it does seem that it is, again, within like a minority, but I would like to find out from these people like what devices, again, they are running and seeing if there's a similar kind of link to the stuff with the other post. And yeah, just generally hope that there is an outcome from these guys, because even though we might say that, I might not be experienced and I haven't experienced it today on the day I've recorded this video, doesn't mean to say that other people around the world in different areas and using different devices aren't experiencing or are experiencing. It's hard to kind of like pinpoint and help these guys out, but I really hope that Kabam can help them out in some way, whether or not it's a case of saying not to be rude or not to be kind of like, have you got good Wi-Fi? And the other thing is saying that, again, are you running on data, or like, are you roaming? Like, how are you working this? At the same time, could they say like, well, you have an iPhone 5, unfortunately it does not, and the game won't run effectively for you. I would recommend moving on to a new device. That could be something they might have to say. And that is disappointing, because I don't think the developer would ever say that kind of thing. They've done something in the past where they've said like, okay, well, old devices, here's us being generous, we're going to send you out a tablet to run the game. I don't think they're ever going to do that again, but I think that may be the thing, saying, how old's your device? Is it a case it's 3 or 4 years old? Well, unfortunately, I think that the game will not run sufficiently on your device. You probably will have to get a new device in order to run the game. And that may avoid a lot of kind of conversations like this, ones that I have to kind of like go back to this these forum posts again and again. Our next story is all about this poll here. This one is all about Gwenom, and it's in the suggestions and requests section, and obviously link is in the description if you want to go over and vote. And it's really a kind of a God. Our next story is all about this poll here. It's got very mixed reactions to it. And it's in order to kind of like shine a light on Robbie Rodriguez's work for Marvel Comics. He is retiring and he created a character called Gwenom. And the poll has a very mixed reaction, and the idea of like bringing a character like that to the game. Yeah, okay, a lot of people could see that, but also a lot of people are kind of like undecided whether or not that would be a good idea. And I don't know if the case of the people that didn't like this are probably thinking that, how could they make Gwen Stacy better? And the answer is, don't know. But putting a symbiote in that particular character and making him a lot more powerful would be a good idea for that. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm on the fence with it, and I guess a lot of people within the community are on the fence with this poll. Our next story, and yeah, we really are scraping the barrel with regards to the news in Marvel Contest of Champions news today. And we're going back to this whole kind of argument about Doctor Strange again. And I've got like an old clip. I managed to like dig out an old video back from 2015 of Doctor Strange, which I'll show you a snippet in a moment. And I'm just like, you know, I do think that it's come to a point where we have strong champions in the game, up to the same level as Doctor Strange. And obviously the Doctor Strange that we know nowadays isn't as powerful. We were seeing huge like regens with regards to the champion when it came to certain buffs that were on, and the kind of like power he could tap into. And obviously he's not a great champion within the game anymore, which is disappointing because I do miss using that champion. It used to be a case that having Scarlet Witch and Doctor Strange were two champions that I loved working with together. I thought they were amazing. Two of my go-to ones. And nowadays it's a case of no, Doctor Strange is on the fence. He's been on the fence for ages. I think I had him at rank 4, and I think I might have even dropped him down to rank 3. And that's the thing, is a 4-star. It's just like, yeah, okay, and he will go into the shadows. Scarlet Witch is still used for me, and I think used for a lot of people, but he just does slip into the shadows quite a lot. But then the point comes that a lot of people are passionate about his return to his greatness. He's in a version called Doctor Strange Marvel Now. And it's a shame that that character didn't come into fruition. I think there is modelling of that champion. I think they built the champion to a degree, but with regards to what powers that champion had, again, this will be a complete mystery. And will that? I would hope that they would do Marvel Now version, but put him in, but make him as powerful as he was before. As the game has changed largely, and a champion with regards to that caliber, or maybe scale down just a smidge, would be a good fit for the game in its current state. So here's it playing now, and yeah, you're probably gonna you're wondering like, wow, that's a Doctor Strange that's not levitating. And yeah, that's the case. He is not levitating. Yeah, the buffs were a lot stronger on this champion, and it did mean for some kind of great regen. You know, you could get completely battered, as I am doing now, but bearing in mind I was using an Android device that wasn't running particularly well. I mean, it's good now. It's good now that I've kind of like running an iPhone. But that's the thing, like the champion like excelled, and the element of regen, yes, was a bit too overpowered. But that's the thing, nowadays that could be scaled back a little bit, but quite not so much as it is now. And there's a lot of things about the champion which, you know, again, I would like to see make a return to the game. But I don't know, your thoughts in the comment section. And a final story, and I wanted to make a video quite like this as well, but I feel that I probably would be treading on Seaton's toes if I did do a video of this same thing. I don't want to be called like plagiarist or anything like that. But I thought instead what I'll do is I'll put it into the news and then like talk about it myself. So a lot of the points are pretty solid with regards to Seaton's video and the kind of point that he makes about this being the element of new champions coming into the game. Therefore, the demand is to get these champions in order to make your older champions a lot better. That's a solid, well-rounded kind of like point to make. I guess the way that the game has moved in that 5-star shards are more attainable, and the way that they're going to work the featured pool means that there's a greater chance to get a featured champion that is incoming a lot sooner. Obviously, we've got this new kind of change to the 5-star crystal, the 5-star featured crystal, which means that potentially we will get these new champions. At the end of 2017, we were seeing substantial improvements with regards to synergies for new champions coming in. And obviously, ones like Taskmaster improving Hawkeye. We've seen Winter Soldier's synergy for Killmonger. And a lot more of these to come. You'll see loads of them. And there's loads to mention in any case. Danger Sense is one of them. But to be honest, all those champions on that list are rock solid. Mephisto, Dormammu, Stark Enhanced Spider, even Ghost Rider. You know, they're solid. And the list goes on. But I don't know if I can overly say that it is a cash grab, because obviously the changes to 5-star arena mean that we can grind out a lot of those 5-star shards. Yes, I do get that people will say, well, it's all based on chance with regards to that featured 5-star pool. And yeah, but it does mean that there's a greater chance of getting hold of them. I think Kabam's plan is to then implement that as opposed to reworking champions. And it's again, like, will they slowly roll out, like improving Red Hulk and also improving Luke Cage? Are they going to go back and do other ones? I think that it would be, we just need to kind of like understand what they're doing, and they need to be a little bit transparent. My final thoughts on the matter, I don't really know where to stand on it. I see both aspects of it, the positive and the negative side. I do see the aspect of the cash grab when it comes to trying to get these new champions based on improving your roster. And your choices largely go into the 4-star featured arena or the upcoming 5-star arena. And obviously the points kind of grind out will probably be around about 20 mil. When it comes to the 4-star version, that will drop down considerably. So your kind of fight may be in there to get it. And that could be anything between 10 to 12 mil as opposed to the 20 mil which it is currently. And the other side of things with regards to crystals. Yes, okay, you get a lot more 5-star shards nowadays, so therefore you can get the featured. Unfortunately, the featured won't come around for another 3 months, so that is disappointing. However, there is an aspect that you could get into there and just get some random like champions that are going to be improving your roster in general with regards to synergies. If you want to use Hawkeye and improve that hemorrhage thing, then you can go for Taskmaster. Hopefully you get him at the featured. And there's a lot of champions within the featured that will be of benefit for your roster. But at the same time, if you want to get and spend your money, then you can do that with featured Grandmaster Crystals, which don't really give you any great chance for it. Which then gives you that option. You're either going to be grinding out huge amounts in the arena, or you're going to be grinding out huge amounts to get 5-star shards, or spending money to then get said champion either 3 months or 6 months down the line, wherever it might fall. Either way, your choice is there, whether or not you want to spend on the game or not. That's the whole aspect of this game, because it is a luck-based game in some regards, and also at the same time with regards to arena grind, it is a competition-based grinding event. Either way, I'll leave it open to the comment section with regards to the debate, or you can go over Seaton's video and give it a watch, and I strongly suggest you do. But obviously the argument is it a cash grab? Is it a case it's not cash grab, and you think that's a bit kind of like an extreme term to kind of lay on, especially with like you can grind the game out for free? Or do you think that Kabam really have lost touch with regards to developing and redeveloping old characters within the game? Send your thoughts in the comment section or over at Seaton's video. So that's been a video. Thank you very much for watching this episode of MCC News. Not brilliant, to be honest. There's not, as I said, there's been bugger all with regards to news in the community. So maybe there's something that's interesting coming along shortly. Who knows? Anyway, thanks very much for watching. And as always, I shall catch you on the flip side. And don't forget to support the channel on Patreon. Bye-bye for now.